Hello there, very good evening and a warm welcome to the news live on Rupavahini Channel I. I'm Sharon Mascarenhas.
A very good evening, I'm Lakshitendra Singh, and to start off, we take a quick look at the headlines for tonight.
The new production plant of the State Pharmaceutical Drugs Manufacturing Corporation has been opened. The Prime Minister reiterates that the process of making the country self-sufficient should be implemented from all angles. The general public have been advised to refrain from engaging in Sripada pilgrimage and also visiting Trincomalee. A program on school level to cover syllabuses which could not be covered during the year. Minister Nimal Siripala de Silva says that no decision has been taken regarding the SLFP leaving the government. Heavy rainfall in several districts, sluice gates in several reservoirs have been opened.
On to the stories in detail now, starting off with local news. The introduction of the new production centre, G-Zone of the Sri Lanka State Pharmaceutical Drugs Manufacturing Corporation and the medicine flucloxin has taken place today under the patronage of Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. Due to the manufacturing of the drug locally, the country is able to save foreign exchange exceeding 70 million rupees spent annually on importation. The new production centre was built entirely through the funds of the corporation. It is being maintained conforming to the highest standards of the production methodology. The centre is also being used for the manufacturing of non-penicillin types of drugs as well. The objective is to enhance production capacities of drugs within the country itself. The flucloxin 500 mg capsule unveiled today is only one of another type of drugs introduced by the corporation during this year. It is an antibiotic of the caliber of penicillin. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa said that they had been given approval in the year 2012 to commence this project. He added that at that time, they had allocated 4,670 million rupees in this connection. As a result, the production capacity of the State Pharmaceutical Corporation has since then increased twofold. Sri Lanka imports around 70% of its medical requirements from India, Pakistan and Bangladesh. The Prime Minister added that they have responsibility to manufacture drugs locally and Sri Lanka has the necessary intelligence and resources to do so. The Prime Minister has pointed out that they must harness these resources. The concept of the President is to produce locally every item that could be produced in the country. There has to be restrictions on imports. The Prime Minister further said that the medical and other relevant divisions should prepare the necessary programs for implementation.
Epidemiology unit says the number of COVID-19 recoveries in the country has increased up to 29,882. Another 582 COVID-19 recoveries were reported in the country today. 17 fully recovered COVID-19 patients who were receiving treatments at the COVID-19 treatment centres in Polonnaruwa district were discharged today. They have been identified as residents of Colombo, Gampaha, Hambantota, Kalatura, Kurunegala and Putlam districts. Director of Health Services in the Kegal district, Dr. Kumara Wickramasinghe, said that 64 more fully recovered COVID-19 patients have left the COVID-19 treatment centres in Kegal today. A total of 12,892 COVID-19 recoveries have been reported in the country since the beginning of this month until today. The highest number of COVID-19 recoveries recorded in a day was reported on the 16th of December. 785 recoveries were reported on that day. Meanwhile, a total of 582 COVID-19 recoveries were reported today. The percentage of fully recovered COVID-19 patients in the country is at 77.80, taking the tally to 29,882. The percentage of active patients currently receiving treatments is at 21.02, with a tally at 8,342. Meanwhile, another 348 corona patients were identified in the island today. Out of this total, 276 have been identified as close associates of the patients in the Paliagoda cluster. The remaining 72 patients have been identified as those connected to the prison cluster. 11,672 PCR tests were conducted yesterday. The total number of PCR tests conducted so far is at 1,157,092. 2 more COVID-related deaths were reported from the island yesterday. The victims were residents of Dankotu and Colombo 7. A 15-year-old male receiving treatment at the Apeksha Hospital in Maharagama has died due to COVID pneumonia and intensification of leukemia coupled with blood poisoning. Panadura Chief Public Health Inspector Sampath Mudali says that upon conducting of 1,000 PCR tests in a garment factory in Panadura, it has been found out that 87 employees were infected with COVID-19 disease. The factory has been temporarily closed down and the remaining employees and the close contacts of the patients have been placed on self-quarantine. The District Corona Control Committee requests the general public to minimize as much as possible of arriving in the Trincomalee district. The reason being the detection of around 70 COVID-19 patients in the district yesterday. The people are advised not to visit the district unless on an extremely urgent purpose. The Nuwara District Corona Control Committee requests the general public to refrain from engaging in Sripada pilgrimage in January by taking into consideration of the existing pandemic situation. Nuwara District Secretary MBR Pushpakumara says that there is a threat of propagating the COVID-19 disease in Hatton. He adds therefore measures have been taken to restrict travelling in the area. Dry rations have been presented to 225 quarantined families in Hatewatta, Colombo. Madam Shiranti Rajapaksa has presided over the event and handed over dried food sacks to the community police unit. And in more stories from home, the Ministry of Education has informed principals of schools to implement a program on school level if syllabuses have not been covered in the year 2020. The new school term is scheduled to commence on the 11th of January. Classes from grade 1 to 5 in all schools are scheduled to reopen in the new school term. However, schools in Colombo, Gampaha and Kaluthura districts in the Western Province as well as schools located in police divisions under isolation will not be reopened in the new school term. The third school term of the year has ended today. The Minister of Education has informed that all students should be promoted to the next higher grade with the conclusion of the school term, and students should engage in academic studies in the new grades in the new school term next year. The relevant sections have also been instructed to provide the necessary text to the students by the end of the year. The Ministry of Education has also reiterated that in the event of any school failing to cover the relevant syllabuses of the year 2020, special programs should be implemented on the school level to cover such syllabuses in the first 2 months of the new school term. Majority of judges in the 3-member panel of Supreme Court judges have decided today to reject without examining a fundamental rights petition requesting to issue an injunction to suspend admission of students to the faculties of engineering and physical sciences of the universities based on the cut-off marks for university admission issued recently by the University Grants Commission. The petition has been examined for the past 3 days by the 3-member panel of Supreme Court judges comprising of Justices Bhuvanikalu Vihare, S. Thureraja and Yasantha Kodagoda. Chairman of the bench, Justice Bhuvanikalu Vihare, delivering the verdict, said that with the agreement of the majority of judges in the panel, it has been decided to reject outright the appeal for a restraining order. The petitioners of the case were 42 students who have qualified in the GCE Advanced Level Examination of 2019, appearing under the new syllabus. They have cited as respondents of the case the Minister of Education, the Secretary to the Ministry of Education, the Commissioner of Examinations, the University Grants Commission, its Chairman and the Attorney General. The plaintiffs in their petition have stated that they have qualified in the subjects of mathematics, chemistry and physics under new syllabus of the GCE Advanced Level Examination of 2019. The petitioners have pointed out that according to the recently announced Z-score marks, there was a significant disparity in the Z-score marks between students who have appeared under the new syllabus and those who have appeared under the old syllabus. They have also pointed out that as a result, they had been subject to immense unfairness. The petitioners have therefore requested the courts to issue an equal number of reasonable cut-off marks for both syllabuses.
Senior Vice President of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, Minister Nimal Siripala De Silva, says that whatsoever decision has not been taken regarding the SLFP leaving the government under any circumstance. Minister Nimal Siripala de Silva said that he, as a senior deputy president of the party, wishes to say categorically that no discussion has been conducted within the party to leave the government. He added that there is room to publish numerous opinions in this regard. However, there has never been any opinion expressed at any time regarding a withdrawal. The minister further said that the SLFP is a party which always takes correct political decisions. He added that they have correctly realized the importance to stay with the government continuously.
The media propaganda hitherto unleashed by the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation to eradicate the use of tobacco and alcohol has been subject to special acknowledgement today. The role played by the SLRC in this regard was appreciated at an awards presentation organized for the first time to appraise media institutions by the National Authority on Tobacco and Alcohol. The event was held at the Water's Edge Hotel premises. The chief guest on this occasion was Health Minister Pavitra Wanyarachi. It has been pointed out that more than 8 million people throughout the world die annually due to tobacco and alcohol consumption. The number of people killed in Sri Lanka on a day due to this menace is around 110. It has been estimated that Sri Lankans spend daily more than 1 billion rupees to purchase tobacco and alcohol products. Out of this sum, 370 million rupees is spent on tobacco products and the remaining 570 million rupees on alcohol and narcotics. As a result, the government is being deprived annually a tax revenue exceeding 150 billion rupees. It has also been pointed out that the government is compelled to spend a turnover 3 times of this magnitude to treat those who fall sick due to tobacco and alcohol abuse. This is an expenditure the country is unable to withstand economically or health-wise. At the awards presentation ceremony, a special tribute has been bestowed upon national television news and also on SLRC programs such as Nuga Sevana. Chairman of the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation, Dr. Nihal Jayatilaka, has received the award on behalf of the corporation. Dr. Jayatilaka, addressing the ceremony, said that the SLRC, as a responsible institution dedicated to create a country free from tobacco and alcohol, will continue to allocate its valuable telecast time in this connection without any hesitation. Chairman of the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation, Dr. Nihal Jayatilaka, further said that a media institute as an independent entity is unable to create programs on its own to face the challenge. He added that therefore the contributions of the intellectuals in the respective fields are necessary in this regard. The chairman further said that under such circumstances, the corporation will be left with only allocating the necessary telecast time. But he added that the mere appearance of a physician in a program to discuss on the harmful effects of cigarettes and liquor would not be enough. The chairman has also pointed out that a feeling must be inculcated in the minds of the viewers not to use these evil substances forever.
In other stories, the Department of Meteorology predicts intermittent showers in provinces of North East, North Central, Central and Owen, as well as in the districts of Hambantota. Fairly heavy rainfall accompanied with thunder may also occur in certain locations in other parts of the island as well. According to the meteorological report, there is a possibility of some locations in the Sabaragamuwa province and Galle and Mathura districts receiving thunder showers exceeding 100 millimeters. Other areas are also inclined to receive heavy rainfall during the period commencing 1 p.m. today. The Department of Meteorology also requests the general public to take adequate precautions to minimize accidents caused due to strong winds and lightning. Floods were reported to have occurred at the Batticaloa district due to heavy rainfall. Our correspondents say many houses and roads in low-lying areas were inundated. The road entrance to the Somavati sacred area have also come under water due to the thunder showers in the Polonnaruwa district. Vehicle transport has been suspended. Elephants of the Somavati Wildlife Park were seen coming to the roads due to heavy flooding. 6 sluice gates of the Rajangana Reservoir have been opened to height of 2 feet. The Rajangana Irrigation Engineer's Office says the gates are releasing 3,640 cubic feet of water in a second. One of the 7 sluice gates of the Ratkinda Reservoir in Ulhitia was also opened this afternoon. Due to the rapid increase, the water level of the reservoir, that is. The total capacity of this reservoir is 146 cubic meters. The residential technical officer of the reservoir, Deepta Chandana Jayasekara, has informed residents in low-lying areas to remain vigilant due to the opening of a single sluice gate of the reservoir. State Minister Lohan Ratwate said at a media briefing held today that the Valikada prison will be shifted to Horana. State Minister Lohan Ratwate said that the UDA has purchased around 250 acres in Horana for this purpose. The State Minister further said that they hope to relocate all 3 prisons in Valikada in the new premises. The Valikada prison has a restricted extent of only 46 acres. He also said that this is a valuable commercial property which could be diverted into something useful.
Valuable commercial property. තේරුමක් නෑ අපි බන්ධනාගාරයක් විතර තියන් ඉඳලා.
Commissioner General of Prisons Tushara Upulvenia said that a special intelligence unit will be set up in prisons to protect special types of inmates and to control riots. The case relating to the Mahara prison incident were heard at the Wattala Magistrate Courts today, and this incident reports on investigations on death of 2 dead inmates were presented. Delivery of the verdict on whether to cremate or bury the dead bodies, according to the reports, has been postponed till the 30th of this month. That's a look at local news. Stay with us. Foreign news is coming up next.
And that's all the stories for tonight. We'll see you tomorrow at the very same time. Good night.